Thank you for inviting me to chair the National Housing Governance Conference. It's a real privilege to be able to welcome so many governance professionals in our sector to what will be a fantastic opportunity for us to share experiences and ideas and to support each other. And so the first question I've been asked to answer is, what major shifts have I seen in the last 18 months that had an impact on our sector, but more specifically governance? If I were to sum it up in 3 words, I think they would be transparency, accountability, and collaboration. Now, I've not chosen those words just because they link to the new consumer standards themes, but because they do seem to me, looking broadly across what has been said and published in the sector, as the shape of what is to come. Our regulators are being more transparent about what they expect from social housing providers, and also about how they will be working together to protect our residents and the sector. Whether that be the Housing Ombudsman Spotlight Report on engagement with private freeholders and managing agents, or the Social Housing Regulators draft clauses, there is more clarity about what they will be asking us to do and report on, as well as how they will hold us to account. And in keeping with this transparency, we, social housing landlords, are expected to be more collaborative, I think, in engaging our tenants, but of course accountable, setting out what we will do and by when. I think there's also a clear movement towards much stronger alignment with corporate governance arrangements, strengthening the reliance on surveys, inspections, audit functions, but also the accountability of our boards and directors. And this provides a great opportunity for governance professionals. Anyone coming into the sector today will see a very different regulatory arrangement to how it was when I joined the sector nearly 7 years ago. Before, there was a distinct difference between the corporate and social housing sector governance codes, but they are now so much more closely aligned. I do believe that the outcome of the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategies consultation on restoring trust in audit and corporate governance that was published in March 2021 will set the scene for the future of our sector's governance. And so if you work in corporate governance, and also specifically if you're a qualified company secretary, you will have a greater opportunity to move across sector, and there will be much more value placed on the role of the governance professional as there is increased reliance upon the expertise that we hold. Indeed, housing associations are encouraging more private investment, whether that is relating to ESG or financial arrangements, and with this will come greater expectations and complexities. We will have to be able to support compliance with the regulatory regimes of our partners, as well as our own changing regulation. And so it's a really challenging but exciting time to be in the sector and in governance. I don't know if you, like me, have found it a challenge to keep up with all that is going on, but I'm looking forward to the conference because it is such a good opportunity for governance professionals and board members to take stock, come together and share best practices. The nature of our business as housing associations can be so fundamentally different. Our functions range from care provision to private developer, and with that, there are so many external pressures, such as contractor failure, escalating cost of supplies, high turnaround of staff in the wake of the big resignation. I honestly don't think any one of us is facing the same problem. And so I see the conference as a great opportunity to share what problems we have been facing, but also seek support, even if that is as simple as ensuring we are a sufficiently diverse board membership. Something that I continue to struggle with, and despite all my best efforts and the myriad of succession plans I've worked on, still don't get right. So, in respect of the agenda for the conference itself, honestly, I think it reflects all of the governance areas that are currently keeping me awake at night. If I could, I would be in every session. And I would say that. But, of course, we want to hear from Richard Blakeway and Kate Dodsworth on their views of how we can ensure adherence to the new consumer regulatory regime. But there are some really important other conversations as well, where I don't know that we have all got the governance right. And so there will be much to learn. Hearing from housing associations that have properly embedded governance and building safety, when the political dialogue around what's coming seems to be so volatile, is something I will definitely be tuning into. And as I mentioned, I also see the role of the company secretary needing to continue to evolve towards improved knowledge and awareness of private sector corporate governance compliance. And so I'll be interested to hear whether others feel the same way and how they are preparing for that shift. Last but not least are the 2 afternoon sessions, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about how others are reflecting risk appetite in their governance and the tips and tricks for successful board recruitment. Although COVID-19 pandemic represented the most extreme global stress test, we continue to be faced by ever-changing and emerging risks, and they all seem to be being realised at once. I don't know that I've got the processes right where I work, reviewing and responding to emerging risks. So I think there's a lot we could share and learn from considering what questions we're asking the board, but also at the executive level. As I mentioned, I continue to fail at attracting the residents with the appropriate skill set to apply to my board. And so I need to have the benefit of the final session to help me to do something different. Otherwise, I think it goes without saying that after nearly 3 years since I have been physically in a conference with people, it will be so nice just to be in the same room with like-minded peers, whether that's the virtual or the physical room. It will also be great to chat to fellow delegates, but also exhibitors to see what systems or products might have passed me by. So I'm really looking forward to seeing old friends and making new ones.